When I got promoted, I called my dad crying with joy. He said, "Are you sure it wasn't a diversity hire?" My chest went cold. I laughed weakly, thinking he'd say he was joking. Instead, he continued, "You shouldn't get too comfortable. These things don't last." I didn't tell him about the apartment I bought or the award I got the next month. Last week, he asked if he could move in. I said no. And he said, "You're still that ungrateful little girl." When I got promoted, I called my dad crying. Not loud crying. Not sobbing. Just that kind where your voice shakes and you can't hold the feeling in anymore. The tears had been building up for days, maybe weeks. I didn't even think before dialing his number. I just wanted to hear him say something nice. Something like, "I'm proud of you." Something I'd never heard before. He answered the phone like he always did. No hello. Just, "What's going on?" I wiped my face and tried to smile through the words. "I got promoted, Dad. They made me senior manager. I just got the email this morning." It was unanimous. There was a pause, long enough for my stomach to start twisting. Then he said it. Flat, cold, like he was reading off a shopping list. "Are you sure it wasn't a diversity hire?" I froze. For a second, I thought I misheard. I let out this little laugh, awkward, confused. I expected him to say he was just messing with me. But he wasn't done. "You shouldn't get too comfortable," he said. "These things don't last. One mistake, they'll toss you out." Probably already looking for someone younger. That's when I realized he wasn't joking. He really believed that. Something cracked in me. I didn't fight him. I didn't argue. I just said I had to get back to work. He grunted, then hung up. I stared at my office wall for maybe 5 minutes after that, not seeing anything. My chest felt hollow, like I'd gotten the wind knocked out of me. But the difference this time? I didn't cry anymore. I grew up in Charlotte, not the nice part. My childhood house was small, 2 bedrooms, and smelled like cigarettes, grease, and old beer. My dad worked as a mechanic, 6 days a week. Sundays were for football and yelling. My mom used to smooth things over. She'd apologize for him when he snapped. She'd pull me into the kitchen and give me the last slice of bread while he yelled from the other room about dinner being late. When I was 10, she left. No note. No goodbye. Just didn't come home one day. He told me she was weak. I figured out what he really meant as I got older. She was just the first person who got out. I was always the quiet kid. Always the one with her head down, her homework done, books in her backpack, even during summer. School was the only place I felt like I mattered. Teachers liked me. They said I was smart. Some even called me gifted. My dad didn't say anything when I brought home straight A's. Not once. He only had something to say when I came second in the science fair. I was 8. I came home with a ribbon and a huge smile. I thought maybe, just maybe, he'd hang it on the fridge or say, "Good job." He looked at it, shrugged, and said, "So who beat you?" That's when it started. That's when I learned second place wasn't good enough. That good wasn't good enough. That I'd always have to be better, sharper, faster, just to be seen. When I turned 18, I packed my things and left for college. Full ride to UNC Charlotte. Finance major. I didn't ask him for a dime. I worked part-time at the student library, waited tables on weekends, tutored other students on the side. I didn't party. I didn't date. I didn't even decorate my dorm much. Everything I did had one goal: make something of myself. Because I refused to turn into him. When I graduated summa cum laude, I sent him an invite to the ceremony. He never responded. Never showed. I remember standing in my cap and gown, looking at all the families cheering and clapping. Moms with flowers. Dads taking photos. I went home alone that night. My first job was at a small bank branch downtown. I showed up every day 15 minutes early. Stayed late. Worked through lunch. I was invisible for the first few months. But eventually, Melissa, the branch manager, noticed me. She called me into her office one afternoon, offered me a mentor spot. "You've got the work ethic most people pretend to have," she said. "I see you." Those words meant more than she knew. Over the next 3 years, I climbed. Analyst, then supervisor, then team lead. Finally, the email I'd been waiting for. Senior manager. That's when I broke down crying at my desk. And like a fool, I called my dad. I didn't tell him when I bought my apartment a few months later. 1 bedroom, sleek kitchen, washer-dryer and unit, skyline view of Charlotte. I signed the papers with shaking hands. Not out of fear, but pride. It was mine. I didn't tell him when I won the Regional Performance Award. Out of 50 managers, they picked me. I didn't tell him anything anymore. He didn't earn the right to know. Then, last week, he called me. It had been almost a year since we last spoke. His number flashed on my screen while I was eating dinner. I let it ring out the first time. The second time, I picked up. He sounded tired. Not old, just worn down. "I lost the shop," he said. I didn't say anything. Rent got too high. Business was slow. People don't fix cars like they used to. I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. "I've been staying with a friend in Monroe, but it's not working out. Thought maybe I could crash with you a bit." My stomach twisted. I looked around my apartment. My clean floors. My full fridge. My peace. "I can't do that," I said. There was a pause. Then he laughed. That same bitter, stinging laugh I remembered from childhood. "You're still that ungrateful little girl, huh?" He hung up. After that call, I sat on the floor of my apartment for a long time. Didn't even finish dinner. I wasn't crying. I wasn't angry. I just felt numb. That laugh he gave me, like he expected me to feel guilty for saying no, stayed in my head all night. I didn't sleep. The next morning, I got to work early. Melissa noticed something was off. She asked if I was okay. I lied. Told her I was just tired. Later that day, I got an email. HR flagged a possible hiring conflict on one of my recent team additions. I had personally signed off on a young woman named Brianna. Sharp, reliable, top of her class. HR was investigating whether I bypassed an internal referral candidate from another department. It was a small thing, but it made me nervous. I'd never been flagged before. The day after that, I got a call at work from my dad. I didn't answer. Then he started texting. "You think you're better than me now? I gave you everything. A roof, food, clothes. This how you repay me? You don't think I got dirt on you? I know what you really are." That last one made me freeze. I stared at my phone, read it over and over. What could he possibly mean? I blocked the number, but the seed of doubt was planted. I started checking everything: emails, staff files, internal reviews. I didn't want even a thread loose. The bank world is brutal. One slip and they'd cut you loose to protect the brand. I had clawed my way here. I wasn't about to let it go now. The next week, I got another email from a Gmail account I didn't recognize. Subject: Family Truths message. "You really think you deserve all that? Maybe I should start telling people what you were like before you got all fancy. Or maybe tell them what your mother really left for." There was a photo attached. Me at 17, sitting on the porch of our old house, holding a half-smoked cigarette. I hadn't seen that photo in years. My hands shook as I clicked off the message. I knew it was him. Who else would have a photo like that? I didn't care about the cigarette. That wasn't the point. The point was he was threatening me now, using the past like a weapon. And I knew it was just beginning. I didn't respond to the email. I reported it to the bank security team, just to be safe. They said they'd flag the address and monitor any future emails to my work account. But that didn't help me sleep any better. The next time I heard from him wasn't through email or text. It was through my boss. Melissa called me into her office late one afternoon. Her face was tight, lips pressed thin. "Got something strange today," she said, turning her monitor toward me. It was a printed letter sent to the regional bank office. No name on the return address. But it had my name in bold in the first line. It was a full page of rambling accusations. Said I faked my qualifications. Said I lied on my resume. That I was abusing company funds. That I was manipulating diversity programs to get promoted. There was no proof, just angry, hateful claims written like someone was drunk and ranting. But my name was in every paragraph. Melissa looked at me carefully. Do you know who might have sent this? I felt my mouth go dry. My father, I said. He's been unstable lately. I told him he couldn't move in with me. He didn't take it well. She nodded slowly. This won't go anywhere, but if more stuff like this comes up, we'll need documentation. We have your back, but I'm going to loop HR in just in case. I nodded, trying to keep my face calm. But inside, I was spiraling. Later that night, I drove back to the neighborhood I grew up in. I parked 2 houses down from the old place. The porch was boarded up now. The roof sagged. It looked smaller than I remembered, just a sad shell. I sat there for maybe 20 minutes, thinking. Then I pulled out my phone and called my mom. We hadn't talked in years. After she left, we exchanged a few letters. A few holiday cards. She'd moved to Tampa, started over. I never visited, but I kept her number saved. She picked up on the second ring. Hello, Mom, I said. It's me. Silence. Then, softly, sweetheart, is everything okay? No, I said. He's coming after me. I think he wants to destroy everything I've built. Her voice shook. I always knew he'd come for you one day. I just didn't know how. I asked her something I hadn't dared ask before. Why did you really leave? She was quiet for a long time. Then she told me everything. He had always been violent. I remembered the yelling, the broken plates. But I didn't know about the money, how he'd stolen from her savings, how he'd forged her name on credit cards, how he once threw her down the stairs when she tried to leave. She stayed for me, she said, until she was too scared to stay anymore. She told me he used to talk about making her disappear. Said no one would care. That night she left? She left because he almost made good on it. I wanted to take you, she said, crying. But I knew he'd come after us. So I left. I sent letters, remember? I tried to wait until you were older, stronger. I sat in my car, shaking. I wasn't mad at her anymore. I understood. He'd been this way forever. And now he was coming after me. But I wasn't that little girl anymore. The next morning, I went into work early and printed every text, every email, every voicemail. I gave it all to HR and corporate security. Melissa supported me through all of it. They flagged the threats as harassment. Legal even got involved. They told me I could file for a restraining order. I wasn't sure at first. Then, 2 days later, he showed up at my apartment building. He was in the lobby when I came home from work. Security had already stopped him. He was loud. He was drunk. And he was yelling my name. You think you're better than your own blood? After everything I gave you? He saw me walk in and lunged. The guard shoved him back hard. You don't deserve a damn thing, he screamed. That job? That place? That money? You didn't earn any of it. I stared at him. Just stared. I didn't say a word. Then I turned around and walked away. I didn't flinch. I didn't run. I went straight to the courthouse the next day. Filed the order. Made it permanent. He wasn't allowed within 300 feet of me, my job, or my building ever again. 3 months passed. HR cleared me. The investigation on that team hire turned out to be nothing. A random miscommunication. I kept my job. I kept my team. Melissa got promoted and brought me with her to regional. But something inside me had changed. I used to feel like I was running from my past. Now I felt like I'd stared it in the face and won. Then, out of nowhere, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. Just a note inside on lined paper. You ruined me. I gave you everything and you took it all away. You'll always be that ungrateful little girl. I folded it once, then twice. I didn't shred it. I didn't report it. I put it in a drawer next to my regional performance award. Let it sit there, like a scar that healed, but still aches when it rains. I made mistakes. I should have cut him off sooner. Should have stopped trying to prove myself to a man who never saw me. But I didn't ruin him. He ruined himself. All I did was finally say no. And sometimes that's the cruelest revenge of all. Not screaming, not payback, just silence. Just walking away and never looking back.